But that's what I have for that Gills Arena segment, guys. I want to pivot to our next topic of the evening, where we get into some comments that were made by Stacey King. He has a really cool podcast that I really enjoy. I think it's called like Gimme the Hot Sauce. And I think it's super cute. He loves all sports. Stacey King was Michael Jordan's teammate. He won 3 titles with him, and he has some pretty good commentary on his podcast. Go ahead and check him out on Give Me the Hot Sauce or Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. And basically, he torched LeBron James. I mean, he absolutely ethered Kevin Durant and LeBron James surrounding their mind the game comments. He was just disgusted by them. He really spared no punches. I'm just going to jump right in and play this clip for you. It's a little lengthy, but he made just point after point after point. My gosh, Stacey King absolutely cooked. Okay. And I want to play this first clip for you. The first one, it basically surrounds some criticism around LeBron's podcast Mind the Game, and just sort of like how today's players talk about themselves. And it's cringeworthy at best, but Stacey King dives into that. And so I want to play this video for you guys, and I want to hear what you think, and we're going to talk about it together. Here's the first one.
One other NBA topic, LeBron and KD and Steve Nash did their little podcast thing, and they always drag the legacy
of
Michael Jordan.
What is it called? Was it Cry Me a River?
Cry Me a River. I think
Cry Me a River podcast? Yeah. Oh, my God. I tell you what, man, listen. I was watching
Revisionist history, they should call it.
Yeah, you know what, Mark? Great players don't have to tell people they're great.
Yeah. Yeah, you
let fans do that. You let people debate it on talk radio and podcasts. Players don't have to do that. We all know you're great. You don't have to tell us. When you have to go around trumpeting that you're great and what separates you from all the other people that makes you greater than them, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's why I say it's a Cry Me a River podcast, because you're crying and moaning about what they said, and they were kind of sneak dissing MJ.
Yeah,
if you really listen between the lines, they were talking about. Kevin Durant was talking about how longevity is more important than rings and all that other stuff. Being in the league basically for 20 plus years shows the dedication and the hard work that you had to do to stay here. But he failed to mention, the load management and this guy only playing in no more than 3 times in his career, 82 games in a season.
Yeah, right.
LeBron's only played 1 time 82 games in a season. MJ 9 times in his career played 82 games, plus playoffs and championships. It goes into 115 games. So to listen to these guys discredit the former players and how great they were to basically step on top of them to get themselves higher is really sad. You should, first of all, don't even compare eras, because there's 2 different eras. Okay. But if you want to compare anything, compare the body of work. Forget eras, but the body of work. Same amount of games, same travel, same stay in hotels, all that's equal. What did you do in the time that you were here? What did you do? How many championships you won? Because Kevin Durant wants to be one of the great players.
Right.
He wants to be considered a go-to, okay? And I love Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant is a phenomenal player. But you don't win any championships if it wasn't with Steph Curry. See, you could always say, well, Golden State didn't win anything until I got there. That's not the case. Golden State won before you got there, and then they won afterwards. So you can't say you were the difference maker. Steph Curry sacrificed his game when Kevin Durant was there to say, hey, do you, man. You be the guy. I'm not even going to be – I'll just step back, hit open shots from them. He didn't care about that. He just wanted to win. Kevin Durant's ego got so big from the fact that everybody was saying, oh, you couldn't win unless you go to Golden State. You couldn't beat Golden State, so you had to join them. So his ego was so big, he leaves Golden State. And it wasn't just because of the Draymond Green situation. That was some of it when Draymond Green snapped at him on the bench.
Yes.
That was some of it. But the majority of it is he wanted to show people he could get his own team like LeBron.
Create his own team with Kyrie and go win.
And I can go win. And how'd that work out for you? You did it in Brooklyn, failed miserably. You went to Phoenix, failed. Didn't even make the playing game in Phoenix. So you're not on that level. LeBron can still say he's on that level.
Well, he always changes. He moves the target.
Yes. The goalposts always move.
Yeah. One time it's about how many championships you won. Next time, rings don't matter.
Rings don't matter.
Yeah.
But I remember distinctly when you're going to Miami, was it not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, all the way to 8. Okay. Yeah. Listen. At the end of the day, you will never be able to discredit, what Bill Russell did. Guys who have won more than one championship, you can never discredit that. Right. To sit up here and just try to tear down Michael Jordan's legacy, talking about, he left to go play baseball. Some guys went to go play baseball. See, if you knew your history, you know exactly why he left. That was a dream his father wanted him to do. That guy was mourning the death of his father. Okay. We were all part of that. I remember where I was when I got the news. We were playing a celebrity softball game at Comiskey against Michael Bolton. His travel softball team was for charity, and Mr. Jordan didn't show up, which was unheard of. And I remember flying off to Hawaii to go to Pete Newell's big man's camp, and I'm looking at the news and I saw that he was murdered, and that's the reason why he didn't show up. Michael was devastated. Everybody was devastated, and him and his dad were super close. And so to sit up there and say the guy left to go play baseball, but you failed to mention the guy left as the greatest player before he left. Nobody was beating him when he was here. Right. He went away for almost 2 years and came back and took everything back that someone else took, and y'all didn't win again. Mm-hmm. So you didn't say that. But they're just, he went to go play. He didn't play 20 years. Da, da, da. Come on, bro. If he played 20 years, Kareem's record would have been broken by now.
We all know that Michael Jordan didn't play for stats. We know he wasn't playing for the scoring record. We knew that. He said very early in his career, I'm chasing magic. That's the guy that I'm trying to eclipse. He wasn't worried about Kareem. He wasn't worried about Wilt Chamberlain, guys that weren't in front of him. He was focused on Magic Johnson. He was focused on Isaiah Thomas, the competition in front of him. And so I think that Kevin Durant, that baseball comment that he made, it set a lot of people on fire, Stacey King included. I think that he really did not like those comments from LeBron James or Kevin Durant. And I mean, he went scorched earth on both of them, even just saying like, hey, why do you even have to talk about yourself? Let fans do that. Let the media say how great you are. You don't need to do that. And then you have to go put down other people and diss the older generation. It was so funny how his podcast partner, I have no clue who that guy is, but he's just like, their little podcast where they just drag the 90s players into everything. It was just so funny to me. They have no respect for LeBron James and Kevin Durant. And guys, you can be a billionaire, a millionaire, you can have all this money and you could still be a lame. Don't forget that, guys. For all the men in the audience, it doesn't matter how much money you have, you can still be a lame. Yes, money helps, okay? And you can get all the girls in the world with it, but you could still absolutely be a lame. Just take note of that, okay? And Stacy King, he cooked. He had no fear in his heart. He told the truth about LeBron James and Kevin Durant, and I can't blame him for his words. I agreed with most of his comments. The only thing that I don't think that LeBron is any better than Kevin Durant. That's where he lost me, because I'm just like, LeBron James had to leave his team in Cleveland to go and chase rings with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. He couldn't hack it. He couldn't win without going to Miami Heat. LeBron James can't hang his hat on anything, in my opinion. He's just as bad as Kevin Durant, if not worse. LeBron couldn't win without a guy from his same draft class that had to carry him to the finals and through the finals in 2011, and that was D Wade, right? He couldn't win without D Wade, Chris Bosh, Ray Allen, Mario Chalmers, and Shane Battier. He couldn't win without those guys. And, a story that supports what I'm saying is there's something going around viral. It's Pat Riley's comments that he made way back in 2019. Okay. And it's been resurfacing. And as you guys know, or may have heard already, but Pat Riley has he said that LeBron James was nothing without the Miami Heat. He would be nothing without the Miami Heat and his time there and his experience, on that team. And so I thought that was really interesting that he said that. I want to share this article where I saw this because it's, like I said, it's resurfaced again. And here we go. One moment. Yeah. Let's see. Can you guys see it? No, you can't see it yet. Hold on. Let me stop sharing. 1 second, guys. Bear with me. Should be there now. Okay, yes. Before he came to us, he was banging his head on the wall against the wall, Pat Riley says about LeBron James and how he was nothing before joining the Miami Heat. And so the article continues, and before he came to us, he was banging his head against the wall, Pat Riley says. LeBron James was nothing before joining the Miami Heat, originally appearing on the Basketball Network. And these are comments that he made back in 2019. This was before he won the title in the bubble. This is what he said. LeBron James was the best player in Cleveland and one of the best in the league before he joined Miami. Yet, despite putting up monster stats, averaging 27.5 points, 7.4 rebounds, and 6.7 assists per game over 7 seasons, he had nothing to show for it in terms of championships. That reality stuck. He lost in NBA Finals with Cleveland and was viewed as a superstar who couldn't get it done when it mattered most. I still view him that way, guys. I don't know about you, but I don't view LeBron James as a guy who can get it done when it matters. He may or he may not, and likely he's not because he lost 6 out of 10 times. So Pat Riley, who had long been around winning and coaching the most successful superstars, knew exactly what the roadblock for James was. He says, quote, LeBron is a great player, but before he came to us, he was banging his head against the wall like all great players that can't win. Riley said in 2019, his first year in Miami was somewhat convoluted from the standpoint of chemistry. As much as those guys talked around it, you had 3 significant players who never really got on the same page. They never let it fester, but they never spoke about it the way they should have. Hey, keep it real. Take ownership and accountability. That's what it sounds like that Pat Riley is saying. The article continues, talent wasn't enough at first. 7 years in Cleveland as a hometown hero with no championships to show. The gutting playoff losses added up. He was easily neck and neck with Kobe Bryant as the most skilled player on earth, but Bryant had Paul Gasol. James had ... Yeah. James arrived in Miami expecting to win. The Heat finished the 2010-11 regular season with a 58-24 record, good enough for second in the East. But the playoffs exposed the truth. They got to the finals only to be embarrassed by the Dallas Mavericks, who played harder, smarter, and with better teamwork. Miami had the league's second best offense, but ranked 13 in defense. That defensive weakness came from a lack of cohesion and effort more than talent. James's numbers slipped a bit in Miami's first year. His true shooting percentage dropped from 57.6 to 56.8. I'm sorry, in Cleveland to 56.8% with the Heat. Assist fell slightly from 7.0 to 6.8 per game. Those aren't huge drops, but they show he wasn't quite comfortable sharing the ball with Wade and Bosh, both of whom were used to leading their own teams. This star trio never hashed out their roles clearly, and it cost them in close games. The team lost 6 of their last 12 playoff games that year. Miami couldn't close out the series easily and fell apart in the finals. Especially late in games, the stars were out of sync. That kind of chemistry problem can kill teams no matter how talented they are. LeBron was no different. He had all the skills but lacked the right team and structure. How Miami changed him. After that crushing loss, things changed. Riley and coach Eric Spoelstra forced the team to focus on defense and communication. James adjusted his game, learning to lead and share responsibility instead of dominating the ball. The difference was clear. Miami won back-to-back titles in 2012 and 2013. During those runs, the best player in the world's efficiency jumped. His true shooting percentage rose from 59.9% in 2012 to 60.3% in 2013. He averaged more than 27 points and 7 assists per game both years. His finals record flipped from 0-1 with Cleveland to 2-2 with Miami. When he went back to Cleveland in 2014, he was a more mature leader who knew how to win. That experience helped him deliver Cleveland's first ever NBA championship in 2016, ending a 52-year drought. Riley's comment that James was banging his head against the wall isn't an exaggeration. Without the right pieces, coaching, and chemistry, even the most talented players hit a ceiling. The 4-time MVP needed Miami to break through the barrier. The Heat gave him the environment and culture necessary to turn talent into championships. Pat Riley spoke the truth, guys. That's, as far as I'm concerned, he spoke the truth. Pat Riley, he doesn't mince his words. He doesn't lie when he's asked a question about LeBron James. Sometimes he might try to be a little nice, but he keeps it real about LeBron's time in Miami and what Miami was able to do for him. And he wants to make sure that LeBron James never forgets it, because he went on a PR tour stating that I didn't need the Miami Heat. I'd still be this LeBron James. I'd still have titles, et cetera, et cetera. I don't think so. You didn't know how to win. You had to learn how to win from Dwayne Wade, the big homie. He was your big homie. He was the number one option. That was Wade County. A king went to his castle. A king went to another king's castle. Can you believe that? LeBron James isn't the GOAT, guys. This just in, if you didn't know.